Guericke was a famous physicist, engineer, and natural philosopher who invented the first air pump and used it to study vacuum and the role of air in combustion and respiration. Born in a rich family, he was educated at University of Leipzig. He studied law at University of Jena in 1621 and mathematics and engineering at University of Leiden in 1623. In 1631, he became an engineer in the army of Gustavus II Adolphus of Sweden. From 1646 to 1681, he was mayor of Magdeburg and magistrate for Brandenburg. There is an interesting story about how he became the mayor. In 1618, a great war broke out in Germany which lasted for 30 years. Guericke contributed a lot in war and became an engineer due to his education in mathematics and mechanics. But his side was badly defeated and the enemy took over Magdeburg. The city was ruined and about 30,000 people died in the war. Guericke, however, survived and later he rebuilt the city and became mayor. He remained in this position for a period of 35 years. As the mayor of the city, he was always busily engaged, but he used it to spare some of his time for scientific research. He studied a statement of Aristotle that the vacuum was impossible. One Guericke saw this statement as a challenge. He knew that Galileo had proved that air has weight. He also had the knowledge about the Torricelli experiment in the connection. Based on these studies, in 1663 he invented an air pump for creating a vacuum. It worked and he used it for further experiments. He further went on to prove that whereas it travels through a vacuum, sound does not. He does not demonstrated that candles neither nor could life survive in the vacuum. One Guericke built many vacuum machines. He made two hemispheres of copper called Magdeburg hemispheres. But these hemispheres, he demonstrated the power of vacuum before the Emperor Ferdinand III at Regensburg. Guericke placed the two copper hemispheres together to form a hollow sphere of about 14 inches in diameter. In order to make these hemispheres airtight, a leather ring dipped in wax solution was placed around the joint of hemispheres. The air was removed from inside by using the vacuum pump he had constructed. After he removed the air from the hollow sphere, 8 horses were tied to each hemisphere to pull them apart, but they could not pull them apart in the first attempt. At last, when the horses pulled them apart with full force, a loud sound was produced due to sudden entry of air into the vacuum space inside the hemispheres. In this way, the tremendous force that air exerts was demonstrated by Guericke. He also demonstrated before the emperor an easier method of separating the copper hemispheres. The horses were removed by the vacuum pump. To separate them, Guericke rotated a stopcock which fitted on one of the hemispheres. This allowed air to rush into the vacuum and the two hemispheres were separated easily. This technique paved the hardness and handling vacuum-based apparatus. In 1663, Guericke invented the first electric generator which produced static electricity by applying friction against a revolving ball of sulfur. Several years later, in 1672, he invented or discovered the electricity thus produced could cause the surface of sulfur ball to glow. Hence, he became the first man to view electroluminescence. Guericke also studied astronomy and predicted that comets would return regularly from outer space. When he was 80, he retired and went to live in Hamburg, where he passed away in 1686.